Hello, everybody, and good Friday to you as we are here with you on Law Dog Sports. It's the Weekend Big Show with myself, Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, and Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways, as we talk sports with you every Friday morning. Once in a while, we'll vary the schedule a little bit to oblige a special guest. And Jeremy, as you join me here today, like you always do, our episode with Mike Steely has gotten some substantial viewing, and that's always a great thing, but it was a lot of fun at that. But got a comment from Jeff Haxton, the voice of Texas Tech baseball and basketball. He's a Okie and lived up here for several years throughout his life, but from here, and then just landed in Lubbock about probably 8-10 years ago. But he complimented us on the episode, said it was really a lot of fun. And man, I think that's just kind of the joy that Steelman brings. The thing is his schlock was making it fun and making people feel involved. But that is a great thing for some folks to go enjoy that.
Please do, man. That was a lot of fun getting to talk to Steely. I mean, it felt like I was at UCO in between classes listening to the sports animal in what was that, 1999 when they first started up there.
Wow.
Just going back to old days. Like I wanted to bring up 100 Dan Lutz and Traver stories, but I just didn't.
Yeah. Well, and you know, the funny thing is nowadays, you know, I hate to say that the cancel culture would reach Oklahoma City, but we know it could. And the thing is Dan Lutz was challenged physically and his mind was sharp as a tack. He knew sports like the back of his hands, but he had mobility issues. And I would think that the whole sketch that Steely did impersonating Traber and Dan being on the Titanic would be under certain criticism now.
Probably. And Traber, what did he say? He told him his jacket looked like he was wearing a sausage casing. Oh, yeah. That one always stuck with me.
That's funny you say that because I have used that a lot over the years. When I put on one of these gift T-shirts that somebody says I'm a large instead of an XL or 2X, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a sausage casing. Well, I tell you, Jeremy, this episode is going to be available on SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, as well as this video on YouTube. You can find all of those on our website, lawdogsports.com, and the Facebook live stream going right now, Twitter, X, Instagram, and TikTok at lawdogsports. You know, we probably have helped our cause with some of the shorts or is it a short or is it a reel? I mean, these
which ones? Which platform?
Is it by platform? Is that what it is?
Sure, because a TikTok's just a TikTok.
A TikTok is a TikTok.
And on the Facebooks and the Instagrams, they're reels.
Reels. So where's a short? Is that YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. Gosh. You know, remember back when you used to turn on a radio?
Remember Vines? Yeah, I'm looking at YouTube right now. They are shorts.
Vines. Well, so anyways, we will have all of our episodes available, and we encourage you to go check those out. And if you have a comment or if you want us to read one on the air for sure, you can go to lawdogsports.com and leave a message. That message will go to us, and we'll read it on the air. And then, you know, I've thrown out the phone lines before, Jeremy. Nobody seems to take us up on it. So Interaction Live seems to be the keyboard warriors. But we have a devout group of fans that I appreciate very much. And they're always checking in and always willing to take this ride with us. But talking about rides, Jeremy, I got to say, you know, one thing that, I mean, I have a newer truck. I bought it. It was practically new. I've owned new brand. Yeah, I got my Chevy that I bought in 2018. I've babied it. You know, I'm older now. I don't tear up things like I did when I was 25. But I've always thought, what would the feeling be like to go and just pick out your own Ford Raptor on a car lot? And there's a certain select few former OU linemen that advertise and sing for Metro Ford of OKC. And one of those linemen today, and I know the other one had been doing fine, but one of those linemen today, a kid from out of nowhere, Shawnee, Oklahoma, not a high recruit, is now the highest paid center in the National Football League in history. Mr. Creed Humphrey signs an extension with your Kansas City Chiefs.
That's right, baby.
Guaranteed $50 million. That buys a lot of Ford Raptors, buddy.
That's right, man. That's a lot of brodozers right there, pal.
$60 million in brodozers. They really are I guess that's my inner douchebag wanting to
you got
its wings.
Clipper cut hair all the way to the scalp, white wraparound Oakleys.
Oh yeah,
Reef flip flops and plaid shorts.
You called it
uniform.
I would live
it's
it.
A uniform.
I would live it if I had a job that paid that. So, but Creed Humphrey, man, the Chiefs shore up their center position for a good long while by signing the 5-year, $60 million extension. And I'm sorry, I take that back. 4-year, $72 million.
Yep, $50 million guaranteed.
The highest paid center of all time. There was some argument on social media last night about Ragnow being better. The Chiefs Nation squelched that really fast. Creed Humphrey, you talk about a kid, and I said this about, and we go back to his time at Oklahoma, Jeremy. Find me that kid who's just mean and wrestled in high school. Whatever
kind of nasty.
Whatever position they play on defensive line, Kelly Gregg, he was nasty.
Dr. Death Steve Williams, pal.
Dr. Death Steve Williams. When Dr. Death got out there with those big juiced up wrestlers, he didn't look that massive. You know, he wasn't the Ultimate Warrior or something like that, but he was low center of gravity, interior power. I mean, that's got to be Creed Humphrey's, the raison d'etre or whatever. That's got to be his thing. I mean,
it's modus operandi, huh?
MO, yeah, in police terms.
Good enough.
4 years, $72 million, 50 of it guaranteed. That I don't know if he's got to sing for Metro Ford anymore. I don't know if he had to.
He might still do it, connect with the people.
That could be a friend deal.
But kids that are so specialized these days, they don't have the footwork that these kids that grew up wrestling, playing soccer, have. When I was coaching middle school, we had a kid. Remember Bo Blankenship from Norman North, who ended up playing at Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we had him when he was in 7th grade, in 8th grade, and the kid had the best feet. He was a dancer, but he grew up playing soccer. A lot of these kids did. And then the wrestling kids, low center of gravity, all offensive line is getting low and pushing people around. Well, that's wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you're exactly right. And I don't want to get off into this wormhole because we're talking about Creed Humphrey and his massive amount of money he's making to hike the ball to
we won't have to steal beer from the concession stand at the Arrowhead anymore after big wins.
Well, think about this. When you were a kid, Jeremy, and playing neighborhood pickup games, nobody wanted to be the center.
No.
You want to be quarterback, running back, or receiver. Nobody wanted to snap the ball. And kids, get out there and snap the ball. I've always said, and we can say this about the great James Winchester. I've always said, learn how to deep snap, and you could go far.
Yes, exactly.
Become a perfect.
Unless you're 5'9", I didn't go very far with it. But
well, okay, and that's the thing about Winchester's. He's a great athlete as well.
Sure.
But you talking about footwork, and I won't delve off into this wormhole hard, but Hakeem, whichever, he's always Hakeem to me. Lajwan played soccer growing up in Nigeria, and they always said, you'll look at him and his footwork in the center position in the NBA and college basketball is the tops. I mean, his footwork was immaculate. So
couldn't do the dream shake without it.
Yeah, that's right. So congratulations to Creed Humphrey. And I saw a stat, I think, just Bedenbaugh's lineman salaries is up in the 110 millions.
Outpace every the combined earnings of every player from the University of Texas are outpaced by Biedenbaugh's linemen.
So you saw
that's crazy.
you saw the
I mean,
same tweet, Ben.
he's got a ton of dudes in the NFL. You know what? Not a single dang one of them were 5-stars. They were developed by Biedenbaugh.
Yeah.
Savion Bird's the only 5-star he's recruited, and he's at SMU now, or Texas State, one of them.
What was Tyler Guyton?
Tyler Guyton was a transfer from TCU, pal.
Was he a big recruit for them?
I'm sure he was a high 3, maybe, snuck into that 4-star. The guy's been absolute nails in Dallas so far.
Oh yeah, he's bringing a toughness to them I don't think they've seen in a while. He's mean.
I guess he was hurt at the end of last year. He couldn't get on the field.
Yeah. Well,
and Rouse has been playing well.
Okay. And think about this. I mean, somebody posted a deal about Phil Lodeholt the other day. He's there was a committ-iversary post, I think, by the ref. He was massive, but really
6'9", yeah.
Really, as far as left tackles go, Trent Williams may be considered the GOAT.
He is the standard. That guy is crazy athletic, move him all over the field. He could play all 5 offensive. He could probably play tight end. Yeah, he's just a big old, strong, nasty athlete.
Yeah,
but he wasn't there under Biedenbaugh.
No, he was before Biedenbaugh, but
he was with James. I can't think of his name.
Would he have been Heupel's? Would he have been when Heupel was OC?
Probably, yeah.
When did Kevin Wilson leave?
Kevin Wilson was there through 05, 06, and then he went to Indiana as the head coach. Does that sound right?
No, I thought Kevin Wilson was there in 08 when they played.
He might have been.
In 09.
Who was the OC in 09? He was there in 09. Yeah, you're right. Because it was Chuck Long, then Kevin Wilson.
Yeah. Chuck third and long. Hey, speaking of college coaches, and I love this because of the fact that we are just hours away from actual college football. There's a slate of games tomorrow. One in particular that I'm going to pay attention to is, Florida State.
Delaware State, Hawaii?
Yeah, that one.
11 p.m. Central.
McNeese State, Tarleton, that's the one. No, here's one for you, and we stay kind of tuned in with the ponies, Jeremy. But SMU's a 25-point favorite at Nevada Reno. That's 7:00 tomorrow night on CBS Sports. I'll probably take
SMU's got a good squad, pal.
They put it together.
Yeah, they've got a
Jeremy. They're going into this league, into the ACC, as no worse than like a 4th or 5th pick in the league.
I know. So that's an indictment on the league.
How do you feel if you're Wake Forest?
SMU's got a good team.
Yeah,
they've a really good team. They've recruited well. Rhett Lashley's done a good job down there so far.
Yeah, and really, had they been brought into the Big 12, they would probably surpass Baylor and Tech and TCU pretty quick.
Well, I mean, it's just Sonny did a good job down there.
He did,
and he left Rhett Lashley with a good roster, and he's just capitalized on it.
Yeah,
and they're in the ACC, so you got Clemson, UNC, and Florida State.
Yeah,
and that's
some audio for you. Yeah. It's the ACC is going to be Clemson, SMU, and Florida State. That's pretty. Of course, NC State's pretty high this year, but there's a lot of optimism on Tobacco Road.
Nothing good coming from Pitt.
No Pitt. No.
Miami.
I keep wanting to say Maryland. There's no way Maryland.
They're in the Big Ten, pal.
I know. That's what I was going to say. There's no way that Maryland should not be in the ACC. Hey, I've got a audio clip here for you. Speaking of college football and my new favorite coach, and I tagged you on this tweet, but his name is Chuck Martin, and he is the coach at Miami of Ohio. What are they? The Red Hawks or?
They are the Red Hawks.
Red Hawks, yeah. So Miami of Ohio has lost their kicker, Graham Nicholson, to the University of Alabama, and Coach Chuck Martin is none too happy about it. Listen to this one.
All right, special teams, lost your kicker. Carter McLaughlin.
We didn't lose him. He's at Alabama. We know
Yeah,
exactly.
I understand
We know
that.
exactly where he's at. Like you media people, it's all pretend. Like no, Alabama stole our kicker.
Yes, they did.
They illegally recruited
I didn't want to say it,
They
Coach.
illegally recruited our kicker and stole him from us. And like that's a fact. But that's college. But we act like it's not. We live in this la la world. Like hey, let's not talk. I don't know why everybody knows what's going on. So
here we go.
Yeah, Alabama stole our kicker. A couple other schools tried to steal it, but then okay. What's the question?
Chuck Martin, in the words of Big Stein, hire this man. I want to see Chuck Martin. He toiled under Brian Kelly for years on the offensive staff there at Notre Dame, and then now he's got his first head coaching shot at Miami of Ohio. But that's good for him. Call it what it is.
Yeah, we've had the NIL stuff. I mean, yeah, good for the kid if he did better his situation, but I don't know, man. What I've heard about Kalen DeBoer, especially what happened with the Emeka Megwa kid that's at OU now, I think he might be kind of a dirtbag.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he fits right in down there. Weren't the guys leading up to Saban kind of dirtbags too?
What, say again now?
I'm trying to remember who were the guys leading up to Saban besides Dennis Franchione, who was a notable dirtbag.
Mike Price was there for.
No, he never coached a game there. Who was right before Franchione?
Shula.
David Shula.
Shula was after Franchione.
Okay.
Shula coached in that 0-3 game that Jason White went down there and won.
Brandon Jonesed him up.
Who was it? How long was who was the guy that won it in 92? Old head.
Gene Stallings.
Gene Stallings. Was he there up until anyway?
I think he retired after 92.
The premise of the argument is dirtbag coaches at the University of Alabama.
Yes. I'm trying to I just don't think that DeBoer is a great guy.
Well,
and,
I mean,
that's kind of Michael Penix won't even talk to him.
Yeah.
What came out with Megwa and his injury, how they just stopped talking to him and was gone, and there was no communication whatsoever with the coaching or training staff when he was there, and set him back in his rehab. And then this illegal recruiting, that's a Lincoln Riley hallmark.
I mean,
I guess that's a thing now where it's tampering. Right?
Well,
is that what we're doing?
Yeah. And as one other thing that draws us closer to college football, basically being British Premier League soccer, is that's a phrase that gets thrown around a lot in Europe, tampering. And
that's true.
And in essence, I think the premise in soccer and in Europe is you're not really trading you're paying the team.
Mike DuBose.
Okay.
Stallings was there till 96.
Okay. And he did much of nothing.
Stallings?
No, Mike DuBose.
Oh, Mike DuBose. He went 47-24
that's
overall records. Oh, wait, no. What? Oh, okay, never mind. I'm stupid. 24-23. Yeah, he did nothing.
Yeah. And then they go to Franchione, and to Dennis's credit, I mean, he had made New Mexico competitive. He had made TCU competitive, and TCU was basically SMU light. I mean, they hadn't received the death penalty, but they were dead in the water when he got there.
Yeah, and he was 17-8 in 2 years at Alabama. Now he left for A&M, right? He did.
Yeah.
It was a better situation
for him.
Was that coming off the RC Slocum era?
Yes.
That was right after they fired RC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because who was the NFL guy that was there?
Mike Price? No. Mike. He was Sherman. Mike Sherman.
Mike Sherman. Wasn't he? He was right after Franchione, if I remember right.
Yes. Yes.
I bet he was. If you went back in time and quizzed a young Dennis Franchione and knowing what he felt like he knew of football when he was just getting started, and optimism and confidence. Do you think he would have ever, you know where I'm going with this, don't you? You think he would have ever thought he would coach a team that lost 77-0?
You think if he would have had the prescience of mind, he would have just not let the team get on the plane that week.
My bus broke down. Sorry. Mike Sherman. Thanks, Eric Richardson. Jeremy, your throwback Oilers hat is catching a lot of notoriety here on the comments. So Jeremy says it's fire, and Marty Wandry loves it. So, man, it is a good one.
Yeah.
It is. We were in Norman about 2 weeks ago, I think. And we went and took a stroll through what used to be called Sooner Mall, I think.
Yeah.
And after I got past all of the people from across the ocean hounding me about cologne and cell phone covers.
Hey, bro.
When I got past all that, I stepped into the Lids store, and Lids did not have that hat, and could not
have
find
to
the
get
hat.
on the Fanatics has it, and I don't wear this that much because I don't want anybody to think I'm a shut up, Busso. I don't want anybody to think I'm a don't want anybody to think I'm a Titans fan.
Yeah.
Okay, I just love the hat. The Oilers uniforms were so nice, so classic.
And
but no, I'm a Chiefs fan. Look back here, Boos.
That's
okay,
right.
You see it.
Michael Busso calling out Jeremy's loyalty because he's sporting the and really, I mean, I could say, I'm not your boss on this show, but I mean, I'm a big Oilers fan too. So you have to be, part of you has to say, you know what, Chuck's going to like this a lot.
Yeah, sure. The Oilers uniforms are my favorite.
They're the best
in NFL history.
Yep.
Okay, doesn't mean I'm a fan of the franchise. I can't stand the Titans and what they've done, but
that's
the hat's cool. I like the hat. It's just a hat, Busso. Calm down.
I love, a lot of the teams that I've followed have been red, teams. I mean, my high school team was black and orange, but the powder blue or royal blue is just my favorite. And I'll say this: Kentucky, their football uniforms with the checkerboards, I love those. I love that Kentucky blue.
The North Carolina uniform.
Carolina blue is beautiful. Even Duke blue is sharp. But there's if you go to Twitter and lawdogsports.com, you can get a link to go there if you're not sure, but go to Law Dog Sports on Twitter. Right in my backyard, the SWASU Bulldogs unveiled some drip last night, and new head coach Andrew Rice, they've got a powder blue scheme now. So batten the hatches, pals. We're going to war.
Got time. Oh, you forgot to mention the Ole Miss powder blues. Perfect. Yeah, that helmet is perfect.
Those are good. Houston wants to do it, but the Oilers.
They're doing it, pal.
The estate of
they
Bud
are doing
Adams
it.
Being a jackass. So anyways,
I think they're just going to eat it and do it.
I shared the video last night from SWASU Athletics, and if you're unfamiliar from other areas, SWASU is our quick abbreviation of Southwestern Oklahoma State, and so Quebec Nordiques, Michael Busso.
How about that? Eh?
How about that? Connor didn't have Chuck saying drip on the bingo card this morning. So anyways, so SWASU unveils their new uniforms last night, and their alumni and their boosters came through with the new unis. They've got basically an ice white. Well, it's not ice white because it's got some blue trim, but it's sharp. But on the video, they've got the white helmet with the powder blue uni, and it's a thing of beauty. The stripe going down the side of the leg. It's fine, but powder blue.
As long as it matches something somewhere else on the uniform.
It does. They have done really well on what we call the hilltop. And let's see.
Well, Green Bay brought out the white helmet.
Yeah.
And first off, the Green Bay should never change their helmets. It's classic. It's a standard. Mm-hmm. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But they did the stripes on the helmet are different than the stripes anywhere else on the uniform, and it just doesn't look like it belongs on it. It's a classic case of trying too hard.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah. PCU is a great one. Okay, so college football, like we've mentioned, we've got it going on tomorrow. Florida State takes on Georgia Tech in Dublin, Ireland. Montana State is at the University of New Mexico. And then also, like I said, SMU, 25-point favorite at Nevada, and then also Delaware State and Hawaii. Tarleton State is hosting McNeese State, and that's a D1 game now. I think I still wanted to say that's FCS, but it is not. I think they're D1. So I looked on ESPN, and a friend of the show, John Little, for some reason I thought he might be doing that game. It's on ESPN too. He is not. He's down there at Dallas at KRLD, and actually used to work out here in Weatherford where I worked. But John promotes Tarleton pretty heavy on his social media and stuff like that. But guess who the color commentator is for ESPN2 on the Tarleton State game? Okay.
Dusty Dvorak.
No. Texas running back.
Oh, man. I can't think of any.
Fozzie Whitaker.
Oh, Fozzie. Okay.
Fozzie Whitaker is on the broadcast for the mothership tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 on ESPN2. Lowell Galindo and Fozzie Whitaker. Go ahead.
Who's calling Delaware State and Hawaii?
Delaware State and Hawaii may be a CBS game. I'm not.
Is it even going to be on? Are they playing? Because Delaware State, it's a 10.5-hour flight. They missed their plane first time around. I don't even know if they're in Hawaii yet, but they're scheduled to play tomorrow night.
They may reschedule it for. They may reschedule it for Labor Day. You never know. No, the mothership's got the Aer Lingus. Aer Lingus, that don't sound right.
No, it does not.
Aer Lingus College Football Classic. Maybe it's Aer Lingus. It's AER. I don't know how the Gaelic pronounce that.
It's something.
Football Classic tomorrow. That's at noon. That's Eastern, so it'll be 11 o'clock here, of course. Then 3:30 on ESPN2, they've got McNeese and Tarleton State. And then FCS kickoff on the mothership, North Alabama and Southeast Missouri State. Is Southeast Missouri, is that where Petrino was before he moved to Fayetteville?
Is it still Southeast? I thought it was just Missouri State now.
Okay, yeah. Because it used to be, I think it used to be Southwest Missouri State.
The Bears or something. Yeah. Missouri State Bears.
And then the MEAC.
He brought him to Norman. Yes.
Yeah. Then the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff, Florida A&M and Norfolk State, the Rattlers. And then that's it on the mothership. But like I said, SMU and Nevada are on CBS.
We're only about a month away from Tuesday night action.
Maction. Oh, I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Is it mid-October that I thought it was?
I guess a couple of months away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Akron and Toledo in the snow. I can't wait.
Facebook Live at Law Dog Sports. Michael Busso says he's a Missouri State alum. And then Connor Carr, he went to A&M, then Arkansas. Well, yeah.
But what happened at A&M, Connor? What happened at A&M?
He was the head coach at Missouri State.
Yes.
Which I think, if I in memory past, it was Southwest Missouri back in the day. All right, so football is on the horizon, and some teams were I guess they've done some all SEC teams. Big
Jimbo.
night. Huh?
Well, now he's coaching for a proud member of John Blake's coaching tree, so I'm sure it'll go great.
Oh Lord. Sam Pittman. Yeah. Well, so anyways, Connor has managed to derail this show. All SEC first team defense, Jeremy, Billy Bowman, and Danny Stutzman get some notice on that. No Texans on the first team.
Well, they lost all their, the guys that, dang it, the guys that were going to be on the first team all left in the draft, right?
Yeah, but they're
Montez Sweat, and who's the other big D lineman?
Oh gosh, I can't remember. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. They touted him up really big. But anyway, so a big pickup for Bill Bedenbaugh and the OU was 4-star or 5-star lineman what was it, Michael Fasusi?
Michael Fasusi
From Louisville, Texas. And
Yep.
he's a big kid. and and that's a big get.
Yeah, they got Fasusi and Ryan Foji, another big tackle in this cycle, big 4-star tackle. So Beatonbow is finding his stride recruiting. So this is going to be this class is Rivals has it ranked top 5 right now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Once they'll upgrade stars eventually during the season based on how they look, and it could end up being well inside the top 5, 1 or 2 more guys here and there.
Sure. And, I'll get a chance to see one recruit this evening, Mr. CJ Nixon, 4-star edge rusher out of Weatherford, Oklahoma, the team which I do play-by-play for. And I saw him lining. I didn't see him playing defense yesterday so much, and plus it's practice. I went to practice yesterday. But, man, I'm telling you, you talk about a kid that runs his routes hard at the receiver position. And I'm telling you, Jeremy, I would not be surprised at 6'6", 230 that Mr. Seth Luttrell doesn't see some sort of Josh Norman style hybrid out of this kid. I mean,
that's why I was going to ask you, in your opinion, is he just coming in as an athlete and they're going to maybe he'll end up being a Jermaine Gresham type tight end?
Man, I would be lying to say that wasn't possible.
More athletic.
Yeah.
Jermaine Gresham type.
I never got to see Jermaine do anything but run routes for Bradford, but I know that CJ.
I know it's like having the ball handed to him.
Yeah, I know that CJ Nixon is a tremendous athlete, tremendous basketball player, and not just a 6'6" kid that posts up down low and turns and powers to the bucket. He has touch and he has ball skills. But I will say this. No, I don't think Oklahoma High School starts tonight, Michael Busso. It's week 0 begins next weekend. So there are some.
That's right. This is only where I'm at. This is only the first full week of school, and they rarely have games on the first full week. It'll always be week 2. So I think the crosstown clash in Norman is next Thursday.
Yeah, week 0 begins next week. I know my team that I call Weatherford Eagles, they don't start until September 6th. That's technically week 1. And I hate the whole week 0 thing. That's just when I was at Friday Night Finals, that drove me nuts. But anyways, back to CJ Nixon he on the ball court, he looks lanky. In pads, he doesn't look that lanky. And 6'6" and 230 is a big player. We've had linebackers. And here's the thing. I think the kid could cover people too. I think they could drop him back. I know edge, you set the edge, you rush the quarterback, but it'll be interesting.
He's got the same, he's probably think Dasan McCullough. Just a tall, rangy athlete.
Yeah. And like I said, I think he's got great hands, and I think he could be coached up, he runs great routes now, but we all know that when you get to college, it amplifies, so
when the head man's a defensive guy,
well, yeah, you're screwed there. But no, I think there's all kinds of options for the kid, and he's ranked as an edge rusher as a 4-star, and I think top in the state of Oklahoma. So, but then last night, Jeremy, I saw highlights of the kids from that Venables is signed from Carl Albert, making big plays. So, the key to it is there's still talent in the state of Oklahoma. Is there the numbers that there are for the state of Texas? No. But I got to give credit where credit is due. And for the first 2 years that I heard this guy, I thought maybe he was a Texas homer. Maybe he was a Sark disciple. Maybe he was, just wanting to be like that pencil neck we talk about out in California, a front runner for, whatever the so-called quote, air quote, glamour programs are. But it seems to me like Josh Pate really kind of calls things like he sees them. And if you've seen him on YouTube, it's Outkick. No, it's not Outkick. That's Clay Travis.
Pate State.
Huh?
Is he Pate State?
Oh, his podcast has some name. Late Kick.
Okay, yeah.
The Late Kick with Josh Pate. And he's on Twitter, and I'm going to go ahead and give him a follow now, even though I think I may be following him on YouTube.
I think I follow him on the Twitters.
His playoff predictions are called Pate State, so yeah, you got that right. So, anyways, he takes exception this week with a Texas fan who posted the Colin Cowherd take from, I think they said it was June of 23. When OU,
it was right before, it was last year. It was over a year ago.
It was right after Venable's first season, before they went 10 wins last season. And as disappointing as last season was for OU fans, losing 2 and not playing for a Big 12 title, 10 wins is still big.
10 wins is 10 wins.
A lot of teams would love to get 10 wins. But the standard is higher. But the thing about it is Josh Pate took exception and clarified. Now, it's hindsight, true. Cowherd was out on a limb with a take at the time, but inevitably his takes are wrong, and he's still on the Sam. He still thinks Sam Darnold's going to make a comeback and be an all pro quarterback. He's hanging on to that for dear life.
Who's that? I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name.
Cowherd, Sam Darnold.
No, I mean Sam Darnold. Oh boy,
are you hearing me okay?
I heard you. I just didn't hear the Darnold.
Yeah. Well, I questioned that about our connection. So.
Oh wait, where did Darnold go to school?
USC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is he still on that Matt Barkley train too?
Oh yeah, Matt Barkley, Matt Castle. All those guys.
Mark Sanchez.
I promise you. Did you see my tweet that had Mark Sanchez compared to Kip Jordy from South Park? All right, now I've lost you again.
You lost me on that South Park reference. I'd usually be right there with you, but
so when Facebook first came out, South Park obviously took a shot at it, and it was all about having friends on Facebook or whatever. I've got to shut down some devices. Apparently, my router has not got the bandwidth to take on you and the show. Can you keep track of the comments for me?
Certainly.
So, anyways, Matt. We'll just skip that whole South Park reference thing. That's a wormhole. I probably don't need to go down. So anyways, the take that Pate took exception with was that OU's going down the same road as Nebraska.
The second major program to disappear in our lifetime. Yes.
Yeah. And I think it would be hilarious if Matt Rule got Nebraska into some sort of, I don't know how this Big Ten works now with conference championship games and stuff, but it would be funny if Nebraska was a player in it.
Yeah, and that's what's so absurd about what Cowherd said. Nebraska didn't disappear because Nebraska wasn't Nebraska. Nebraska disappeared because they made horrible choices.
Yeah.
When they fired Solich, and then Pelini won 9 games every year he was there. They fired him too.
Yeah.
And then they bring in Mike Price, or not Mike Price, but Mike the guy from Oregon State. And he didn't do anything.
Mike Riley.
And
who was the guy that was the pro coordinator that was there in the late 2000s? He was a
coordinator.
He was a Walsh disciple. He'd been a pro.
Bill Callahan?
Was it Callahan?
Bill Callahan was there in the 2000s.
Okay.
He was the one who brought Nebraska into Norman and wouldn't throw the ball because he was just trying to get out of there because they were so bad. No, you just hammered them like 36-3.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they've made horrible choices at head coach since Solich and Pelini. Rule is a good coach. If anybody has ever listened to anything we have ever said about Rule, knows that we are Matt Rule fans. You did a fantastic job at Temple.
Sure.
Did a fantastic job at Baylor. Was handed that mess at Baylor that was just horrible.
Yeah.
Right after the sexual assault scandal and CAB and all that nonsense.
Did they go?
He got him back.
Did they go over in his first season?
I think they won 1 game.
1 game, yeah,
maybe 2.
Yeah.
But he got that train back on the tracks. He's going to succeed in Nebraska because he's a daggum good college coach.
Sure.
Did he fail in the pros? Yeah. You know how many?
So
90% of guys fail in the pros. Saban failed in the pros, and he's the GOAT.
Yeah. So anyways, the take that Pate took exception with, and I thought it was great the way he articulated it, is you hear from the pencil neck LA Chamber of Commerce guru constantly that offensive coaches are the only way to go. That may be true in the NFL. In college football, there's so much else involved with it. And Pate basically said it's not that they got an offensive coach, it's that they got the right coach.
And up until the last couple of years, who have been the stars in college athletics?
Defenders.
Your coaches.
Well,
Saban, Bob Stoops, Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
It's a different game in the NFL. It's more player driven.
Yeah. And that's the same to be said for college basketball, as everybody will tell you, the NBA is a star-driven league. Players have control. In college, it is that coach's program, and you will play.
And I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Porter Moser got the Fierce kid to flip from Arizona. Mm-hmm. He's the highest-rated player that OU's had since the second highest player behind Trae Young.
Yeah.
To sign with Oklahoma. So, hey, Porter might have it turned around, right?
I mean, it's got to be better. I mean, somehow, some
way. Well, it can get worse. I mean,
the dude,
thing to say. It can always get
tournament
worse.
Games from Loyola, but he can't make it in the Big 12. So,
Big 12 is a meat grinder.
It really is. All right, so the recruiting and the the Josh Pate take and the Coward thing. I mean, here's the thing. And this is a pretty good segue into a topic that I wanted to get into. Sports talk, I hate to say this, and considering the effort we put into this, and some might say, oh, really, effort? But our program, is just kind of two common guys talking sports, and we hope that appeals to others. With national sports talk, it seems like it's getting kind of like a lot of the Twitter pages. You have to throw out outlandish
flaming hot takes.
You have to you intentionally have to alienate or irritate half of a populace.
But hey, once a year, Coward will come on and say, I got this wrong.
Yeah, he does his segment throughout the NFL season where he was right, where he was wrong. If you wanted to sugarcoat something, his where he was wrong segment is really sweet, overly saturated, sugary. But the thing about it is Pate, I'll give him credit. He's on pretty much daily, I think, on his YouTube channel, giving really pretty in-depth stuff. And I haven't been the biggest fan of him, but the fact that he defended the Oklahoma Sooners and that whole take, and and how bizarre for that, it's just trolling. It just pops up.
Yeah, it is. Coward learned through the whole Lincoln Riley debacle that the OU fan base is legion and loud. And if he wants clicks and engagement, all he's got to do is say, hey, Oklahoma's going to be terrible. And there you go.
Yeah.
There's thousands of views. There's all kinds of comments. He
also just globs on to anything LA, USC, or Texas or Austin. And if you
and he went to Eastern Washington. What's going on with that?
If you watched his interview with Vince Young earlier in the week, I mean, it's like he must get a per diem or something from the Austin Chamber of Commerce to just constantly be thrown out there. And let me tell you something about Austin, Texas, Jeremy. There's a Twitter page called Texas Street Fights, and they are making a living off of 6th Street, bud. I mean, it is just anarchy down there after dark.
Hey, as somebody who works in the public, people don't know how to act anymore.
No. And
everyone's nuts. You're lucky you got out.
You and I experienced that at the Willie, so to speak, there in Oklahoma City. And it's funny you say that because a meme popped up on one of my Facebook memories, and I don't remember if you were working that day, but we had a young lady who was intoxicated in the terminal. And she had this massive, like what was the burger place that we won't say the name, but there was a burger place in the food court there at the airport.
Tuckers.
Okay, we said we weren't going to name it, but fine.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't hear.
But was there one before them?
Yeah, there was a very a massive local chain that has branched out.
Okay,
think drive-throughs.
Yeah,
think drive-throughs.
So
sorry, I won't name the name.
Yeah, she has this triple cheeseburger, and she probably weighs 115, 120, and she's drunk, and she's got this triple cheeseburger, and we're trying to talk her into getting a ride because we don't want to go to jail or whatever, and so she goes, "What are you going to arrest me for? Eating a cheeseburger?" And she just takes this humongous bite of this triple cheeseburger. Just, and we're sitting there. So somebody, not myself, but somebody who will not be named, snapped a picture of her with hamburger in hand and crying, and then made it a meme, said, "Can I bond out on a cheeseburger?" On a possessive cheeseburger.
Connor, the Bedlam being played at Paycom is that's pretty cool. I like that. Neutral site. I think maybe they should go 1 year at Paycom, 1 year at BOK, like kind of like they do with Arkansas. But Arkansas will be a home and home now that it's conference. Talking about Bedlam basketball.
Yeah, you got to throw Tulsa a bone in
sure.
All of this. BOK Center is amazing for one thing. But yeah, I saw that.
With that new the new Thunder Arena is going to be really nice too. So they're going to try to get as many events in there as they can.
Oh yeah. They'll do it up, and it'll all just keep going. But thanks, Connor, for your input. And now we're going to switch over to the intermediate shooting game, so mid-range game. No, but back on Pate.
BOK is better than Paycom. Paycom is repurposed from what was the Ford Center that was built to lure a hockey team here. So
hockey or monster trucks, I think.
The Blazers.
And your youngest is probably past the age, but I'm telling you, when my sons were of that age that they seemed to think that monster truck rallies would be fun. We took them to one down there one time, and even the kids were like, "What is this?"
Exactly. What is this?
Oh wow! Gravedigger with those massive tires just smashed some old junker car. Woo! Oh Lord, we are Law Dog Sports here on the Weekend Big Show. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. As we are starting to wind down, but the thing about Josh Pate and sports talk and things like that is I gave Pat McAfee a listen the other day, and I'm not a fan of his. I'm not for him being on College Game Day. I think he drags it down. I think he's over the top. Not my cup of tea, so to speak. But watching his show and like I said, the station that I, in essence, work for is a Fox Sports affiliate, so you get an hour of Coward a day. Jeremy, my thing is I see where McAfee is a draw to the younger generation. It's a pro wrestling, MMA, over the top generation that we're going to be dealing with over the next 20 years.
And if you think it's over the top now, you should have been. Yeah, I would catch it every once in a while when he was on YouTube or when he had his XM on. I think he was on Mad Dog, and it was way over the top. Then he's actually kind of toned it down for the more genteel folk that are watching ESPN.
And he probably hates that, but
sure,
I'll say this:
I bet he doesn't hate it because he's making lots of money.
He loves that. But I'll say this, Jeremy. Those guys like that probably look at it as like I can podcast and be myself and say what I want. But I will say this: he got a lot of clicks this week for his interview with Mike Gundy, and that went over. It was a nice step for Mike Gundy, who, as we know, has not made the best PR steps over the past 10 years at times.
Man, I think I think those two are probably peas in the pod, don't you?
That's what I say.
he's an odd fella. He hunts rattlesnakes and
Oh yeah.
has a mullet and wears singlets in public, and
He'll,
McAfee's out at game day with no shirt on.
he'll have him in Stillwater at some point in time, to
Yeah.
go hang out, to go fish Sooner Lake or something. But no, I mean, I guess this week, Jeremy, I just looked at it. I said, okay, I get it. It's not my thing, but I get it. And he doesn't seem to go into college football talk with a specific agenda. Now he's got an agenda to promote Aaron Rodgers at all costs, and that's, whatever.
That's his buddy.
That's his buddy.
What are you gonna do?
I would do it for you.
Thanks.
But
it's just like Colin Cowherd not being a journalist when he's dangling off of Caleb Williams.
yeah, I mean that whole cupping of the boys thing with him and Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley, it's just
Probably paints his toenails for him.
oh yeah. I mean it's just so cringe and just I don't know, but I got this week. It was like a bolt into my forehead. I got it, and I understood where the kids are on this whole. Deal. I say kids, I'm talking about basically 40 and under. But I'll give the guy credit. He's done it. He's taken his thing. But it really made me look at Cowherd a lot differently. It's like you basically go into every program, kind of like what the rotund gentleman in Oklahoma City does now. It's all about giving a take that's going to outrage people, and to me, that's not talk. That's just BS.
Oh, Traver's at his best when people call him and tell him what a piece of garbage he is.
Yeah, well,
big fella.
and I think we found this out when we talked to Steely. Is Oklahoma City sports talk would not be what it is today. I mean, they should be thanking Donnie Duncan for bringing in Howard Schnellenberger and then also John Blake, because those were salad. I think you used the phrase before, salad days. I mean, that was prime. You had a topic every day.
Oh my
it
goodness.
Wasn't like how's this really good player doing in drills today? It was, man, what kind of debacle they have going on here today?
Yeah, you remember because you were in the Metro when old Muleshoe was the head coach over here.
Yeah.
I mean, they were struggling for topics because the CIA didn't have anything on the Oklahoma football program between 2017 and 2022.
Yeah. And those insider guys that, with the proliferation of podcast websites, and somebody comments something bad.
Oh, who could have figured that Kelly Gregg is Connor's favorite OKC sports personality?
Oh,
he's probably a big Jerry Ramsey fan.
Yeah, I forgot. Man, I tell you, I love Kelly Gregg as a player. He's a tough listen as a
yeah. He's starting to sound like he's morphing into John Madden towards the end.
Speaking of Madden, did you see what was it? Is Dennis Quaid or somebody set to play Madden?
No, Quaid's playing
Reagan.
Quaid's playing Ronald Reagan.
What was I saw that somebody said?
It was man. I saw it and it was like that ain't gonna work. But let's see. I'm looking it up right now. Not really. Nicolas Cage. I will watch it now. Nick Cage. Man, what a casting. Amazing.
I don't know.
Amazing. Nick Cage.
Caliendo.
Come on. He's gonna get a
hire Caliendo. Just
are we gonna get Gone in 60 Seconds Cage? We're gonna get Leaving Las Vegas Cage. Which Cage are we getting?
What is it?
All right. Let's go.
I tell you, if you go back and watch some YouTube clips of Andy Samberg doing his Nick Cage impersonation on Saturday Night Live, that's some classic stuff. All right, so
Vampire's Kiss.
Okay, is that the latest one?
No. Oh, that's an old one. You should watch it though.
Okay.
Nick Cage at his best.
So, anyways, talk radio, talk platforms. I just think I understand. I think talk radio is a sport of the common man, or it's a function of the common man. And I think when you're constantly dropping what swanky LA restaurants you eat at, what agents you talk to, what GMs you're talking to. People get weary. And I think McAfee reaches he probably reaches the whole lower 48 in his relation. I mean, there are people like McAfee in every state of the union.
Yeah, he's more like a local guy doing national.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has the contacts, but he doesn't shove it in your face.
Exactly. That's it.
I'll turn on SportsCenter or watch Woj's podcast if I want to hear about all his conversations with GMs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Entertain me.
I think the worm has turned, and plus, I mean, Coward may have a big contract, but it's with FS1, so take that for what it's worth. And they could shuffle him out quick, much like they did.
Yeah, the skipper's gone.
Skip's gone, and I say, all Joy Taylor all the time. I want to hear phrases like cotton and Peyton and Titan.
It's NSE-INs.
We got on Twitter. I got a response from RG3 this week.
What?
Yeah, RG3.
What did he say?
Gave me a reply.
Did you share the croissant thing?
No, that was not it.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
I hope he doesn't go back and look at our page. No, he pointed out that back in the spring he was big on Bo Nix, and he obviously feels like he's been vindicated on that and proven right. And I just commented, I'm here. I commented, I'm here for your victory lap, and he gave me the fist bump emoji. So
nice.
How about that?
Nice. How about that?
Then also, I want to thank. Is it Jeff? Let's see. Yeah. Jeff.
The croissant is French. It most certainly asks for that.
Say what?
I was just answering Connor. Said the poor croissant didn't ask for that.
Jeff, the Spurs beat writer, and I will look his name up here in a second. I just follow him, but he gave us a follow this week, and so now he's at KENS in San Antonio. So trying to grow the brand, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Bro.
Sorry, I was in the middle of drinking coffee.
I probably ought to find this guy's real name. I'm terrible. While I do that, let's see. So anyways, college football viewing this weekend. Real quick, what'd you think about the whole Tua Tagovailoa and Brian Flores kerfuffle?
Jeff McDonald.
Jeff McDonald. Thank you.
There's a reason why Flores isn't in the league anymore.
He's
as a head coach. I mean, he's a good coach.
Head coach.
I don't think he knows how to tailor his coaching style to every player. He probably thought he could coach Tua hard because he played for Nick Saban.
Yeah.
And Tua all of a sudden became super sensitive about that. I guess you can take it from the greatest of all time in college football, but you can't take it from your head coach in the NFL. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he had something against Tua. Maybe that's what got him out the door. I don't know.
Well, he wanted to move on, and at the time, play on the field looked like he was on to something, and he wasn't alone in that analysis.
Didn't they win 8 games or 9 games his last year?
Oh,
there was some sort of maybe the year before they brought Tua in. He won 2. The agreement was he wasn't going to win a game or 2 so they could get the number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound right? Is Lurie the owner down there, Jeffrey Lurie?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That could be.
I don't know.
I just think it's incredibly soft. I think you're talking about
it is soft.
Pampered since he was in junior high.
Uh-huh.
He didn't deal with the adversity that Jalen Hurts did. And other than the relief job that he did in that national championship against Georgia, did he win one on his own?
No.
because they got beat by Clemson in 2019, didn't they?
No, and man, he is shown exactly what he is. He is a weak-armed quarterback with above-average accuracy that can't play when it's below 50.
Yeah.
We saw that last year in the playoffs when he got absolutely dog-walked by KC.
Yeah.
It didn't affect Mahomes too much, did it? He had a great game. But Tua, he couldn't throw the ball out of his daggum shadow.
But, I mean,
Mahomes,
and
to give him all that money,
yeah.
they still haven't won a playoff game since Marino was there.
No. But, one thing about Mahomes is, I mean, he's in danger of being, displaced by a flag football quarterback.
That is true. A flag football quarterback that has a very, very peculiar throwing motion.
That is some weird, wild stuff, man.
What is this guy thinking? Maybe qualified that this game's different than that game.
No,
I think. Yeah, I know. Full bore. Yeah, okay. He's 5'8" and weighs about 145 pounds. Let's see what happens to you if you take a hit from one of these defensive linemen.
He throws from the hip, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That wind up.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see. Flores at Miami. Trying to see their record. I'm not seeing it. Good gracious. They lost 59-10 in Flores' debut in 2019.
It was 24-25 as
it was 2021 was his final season. And Stephen Ross is the owner, not Lurie.
Stephen Ross. Okay, I'm sorry.
They were fined $1.5 million.
Lurie is the owner of the Eagles.
Yeah. Forfeited a 2023 first-round pick due to impermissible communication with
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady and which Peyton are they talking about? Anyways, Sean Payton, head coach. So anyways, I think Tua is, like I said, he's soft. He didn't have to go through the adversity that Jalen Hurts did while at the University of Alabama, and did not win a national championship other than that relief spot that he came in relief against Georgia. My thing is it's in the past. You're a pro right now. You've got your coach that, thinks the world of you, thinks he can win with you. Also thinks he's probably going to do a zucchini juice cleanse later in the day.
When he's not actively avoiding the shower.
Did you see Mike McDaniel? Has he been out on the ayahuasca tour?
I guess so.
I mean, my Lord. Take a shower, bro. Anyways, that's all kind of, and that's the thing. It'll get shown. I mean, they have weapons galore on that Dolphin squad. And if they fall,
can you imagine?
If they fall,
can you imagine? Not just Patrick Mahomes. What a guy like I don't know. Name another good to above average NFL starting quarterback. Kirk Cousins. No, I said good to above average. Joe Shiesty's way above average.
I'm sorry.
Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Put him in that offense.
Sure.
Better arm. Still got the great weapons.
What
Jalen Waddle.
What would happen if Flores would have got his wish and got Deshaun Watson? I mean,
South Beach masseuses would never recover.
I'm talking about on the field.
Well, Deshaun Watson, you hurt. He's hurt again, right?
I could see that. I did not know.
He's got shoulder soreness and is not practicing.
I mean,
$42 million guaranteed.
We're talking about practice.
Talking about practice. Baker Mayfield won another playoff game last year.
Hey, quick. You said off the air that you've been a terrible golf fan viewer this season, and I guess it's kind of a rehab type deal for you, where you don't want to get wrapped up and wanting to get out there and lose golf balls. Let me tell you something. I sat down and watched quite a bit last Sunday, as it was the FedEx St. Jude Championship, part of the FedEx Cup, and this weekend they are at Castle Pines Golf Club, Jeremy, in
It sounds like it's up in the Pacific Northwest.
Colorado. Where is
Uh-huh.
Castle Pines at, though? I'm going to guess it's outside of Denver. I mean, you wouldn't ship PGA guys to Colorado Springs, would you?
What about Golden?
Golden, Colorado. Castle Pines. Can you Google that for me?
Sure.
Where in Colorado that is? Hole number 1, Jeremy, a par 5, 662 yarder.
Yeah, but it's at elevation. See?
Oh, okay. Ball carry further.
That's right. It's in Douglas County, Colorado.
Hole number 4 is a 254-yard par 3.
250. Well, yeah, that's a mid iron for those guys at altitude.
Yeah.
All right, I'm efforting a major city. Okay, it's north of Castle Rock. Where the hell that is?
Hey, there is a big rock somewhere in Colorado. If you fly like over Colorado, that looks like a big castle. I wonder if that could be it.
It looks like it's about 70 miles southeast of Columbine.
Okay.
Or Littleton.
Yeah. Hole 14.
South of Denver.
Par 5, 655 yards. That's
Just hop on I-25 south in Denver. You'll run into it.
okay. I've been there. So anyways, last weekend I'm sitting watching the FedEx and the St. Jude's, and Hideki Matsuyama starts to spiral. I mean, he is in the pure death spiral, Jeremy. He has missed 4 straight fairways, and he loses the lead by 1 stroke to Victor Hovland. Gets up there, I think it was 17, and drains a 70-foot putt and gets the lead back and doesn't let up and finishes out. I'm like, how many guys, and I'm not even talking about like duffers like you and me, how many guys that are professionals would have that kind of a streak after you were leading by 5?
Oh, yeah.
Lose the lead and then just be done. Rory would have been out.
He would have went and got in his car and drove off.
He would have.
Yeah.
And that's why the Japanese are stronger than us, Jeremy.
That's right. They are resilient.
All right. What do you got
Stop it.
this week?
What do I got going this way? I'm getting ready to go pick up the grand dog and spend the day beagle sitting.
Oh, I love beagles. Man, beagles are awesome. It got hot again. It was pretty tolerable the last couple of days, and I missed out on my golf excursion yesterday. I tell you, this plantar fasciitis stuff is a butt kicker. I'm finally to the point where I can walk across the room and not be in pain. The last month and a half, I've just been, I don't want to say the D word, but man, I have been hindered by this plantar fasciitis. But luckily, I've been actually went and shopped for a pair of Hokas the other day, and I think you and I talked about that. And I wasn't able to pull the trigger. I just found me a big old cushiony pair of Adidas for about half the price.
There you go. Yeah, you need to come into the metro and go over to the outlet malls. They've got a Adidas outlet.
Oh yeah,
you can get the Ultra Boost for like $90.
Really? Well,
yeah.
Maybe I'll take the pair I bought back to the Big A store.
Sheep Feet Orthotics. That doesn't sound good.
Who?
Connor Carr says Sheep Feet Orthotics for your affliction of, as I've heard it called, Nancy feet.
Nancy feet. No, it's called old fat man feet. Hey, exit question. Were you a Pantera fan in the 90s?
Of course.
Yeah. Man, I
Dimebag, man. Phil Anselmo, hell yeah.
Dimebag, golly. I'm telling you, bud, I've been wanting to put together a TikTok of me like reacting to This Love. And
yes.
when your son asks you if all music in the 90s was soft and peppy.
Yeah, you're like, okay, we're going to play Planet Caravan.
Yeah.
And then we're going to lead directly into This Love, okay?
Yeah.
All right? And,
the funny thing is I had a roommate in my last years at college who brought in Cowboys from Hell and put it in the 5-disc CD player. And
yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can get, but then my taste kind of went on, and then, Walk kind of, that was a workout song.
Cemetery Gates.
Cemetery gates. 5 minutes alone, buddy. That is some workout.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking about going and doing some dumbbell work right now, just thinking about the song. But with the streaming services, Jeremy, I get off on some wormholes musically anymore that I used to didn't. And even with YouTube, it's hard to navigate through ads and stuff. But been doing some deep dives on Pantera, Godsmack, some of that stuff out. I mean, I've always had Alice in Chains in the rotation, but man, it's stunning how I feel like I missed out on all of the Pantera from the 90s. I mean, I heard it, but I didn't deep dive. I didn't buy the
same. Them, Corrosion of Conformity, completely whiffed on them. Really good band.
But I'll tell you this
several.
Much. And this will garner a response from Connard. I can't get down with Five Finger Death Punch.
No, not so much. No,
that just screams dudes in 5'11" driving Ford Raptors.
Bulldozer.
See what I did there?
yeah. Got the wraparound sunglasses on.
This will be the Ford Raptor episode. Well, let's get out of here. Jeremy, thanks again, man. It is a lot of fun getting to visit with you here on the Weekend Big Show on every Friday.
Sure.
All right. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, and TikTok at Law Dog Sports. You can listen to the podcast at your convenience on SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon Podcast, or Apple Podcast. You can also see this video on our YouTube page. Please, please, please subscribe at Law Dog Sports on YouTube, and you can find all of those links at lawdogsports.com. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive, and we'll talk to you next week.